This is all the latest news and gossip.
But that consciousness, even in a basic way, it's like, all right, you're at your job and you definitely know, like, my bosses are racist as shit and I can't be in here, moving and grooving the way I want to. But you start creating outlets for yourself to do that. And the more that you create those outlets for yourself, the more you are going to build up that confidence that enforces you to find other spaces or create your own spaces to do that, instead of giving your talents to a racist person that is giving you money. And the goal for all of us is to be able to get our livelihood and functionality from sources that are not oppressing us at the same time. That is the goal. That's the economic independence that Brandon is speaking about. Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You want to be Berry Gordy? That's.
But not everybody is Berry Gordy.
No. But
you want to at least be able to work for a space and within a space that is not simultaneously discriminating against you as it takes from your resources.
And the thing is,
you don't want to be your personal Africa to these fucking racist fucks.
Right.
Like, folks don't understand that they went to Africa, and people know about, like, okay, they took slaves from Africa. What a lot of people don't know is that beyond slaves that they took from Africa, they literally ruined the fucking soil. They took crops that had no business growing in Africa and brought them crops like the white bean. And they decided, you know what, we're going to grow the white bean over here. And they didn't give a fuck about the fact that the white bean in that particular soil took the nutrients out of the soil. And so it made the soil no longer useful to be able to grow the crops that those people were living on for centuries.
Created a greater mass exodus of these people, which made them far more disparate, which made them easier to pick off and colonialize and take control of their economic resources, which they have to this day.
So,
an element about consciousness that, what about my job? When we expand as people, our relationships change, our jobs change. We decide we are no longer willing to deal with X, Y, and Z. I love this person, but I'm not going to live like this anymore. You know what? I need to work, but
look at my day. Hola, my daughter. Okay, go on.
Yeah, like I work here, but I can no longer make these kinds of decisions. This compromises me too much. I have a buddy who's a prison guard, and he was just like, I couldn't do it after a certain point, man. Like, obviously I wasn't there because I had all the choices in the world, but at a certain point, I can't live like this. So,
well, what happened to me today?
Yes.
She
has arrived.
I've arrived because my contract is up at the Real, and I did not renew it because it doesn't feel good to my soul to be at a place where I cannot speak to my people the way they need to be spoken to, and where the people who are speaking to me in disparaging ways are not being handled.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in a space where I can, as a full Black woman, have my voice and my coworkers also have their voices, and where the people at the top are not respecting the necessity for Black voices to be at the top too. So, you reach a point, like, even when it just comes to Hollywood in general, you've seen me transform into a way that I just can't function in this place the same way. I can't. They planting white beans in my soil.
And the thing is, for me, it becomes a point where it's not worth it. Like, there are roles that you cannot accept because of how a character is being portrayed, or because the narrative that's going to be told is not going to be entirely true. So how will it portray my people? What will it represent? What images am I putting out? A thing that we fail to really focus on, and I was talking to Thomas about this, is that the way our image is projected, we have no control over our image in media, in news, and that is what controls how everybody sees us. The majority of the people in the Midwest and these rednecks or whatever, they ain't never spent no time around no Black people, but constantly pumped into their brain is a message about how these people lack worth and how they're violent and how you need to be afraid of these people. And it's an element that is, if we want to really make a change, we have to assert control over our narrative in media. and in entertainment. So that means we have to start making projects a certain kind of way. It means even when we want to tell our stories, we can't tell them through the same lens that they want to see. You know, it's like I can tell you a great story, but it doesn't have to be a slave narrative anymore. It doesn't have to be couched through the same lens that you're willing to let me make movies through. I don't got to be a gangster. I don't got to be shooting police. I don't got to be. There are other ways for me to explore the nuances of my experience. You know, and but for us, we have to do that. Otherwise, what was it you just said? Is like, yeah, the first thing any conqueror does when they go into a place is they take control of the radio stations. They take control of the TV stations. They assert their will and their ideology on a people.
Listen, media is king. Media is king. That's why, like, spaces like the Shade Room and, you know, and Gossip and Baller Alert, like, I know that there's a certain levity that is enjoyed in those spaces, but I really do get concerned about how they are detrimental in conditioning us to publicly disparage each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and when we look at other groups that don't do that, we have to be conceptually not necessarily saying like we need to be like them, but I think the best idea wins. And we have to be able to look at other folks and say like, well, they may be trash, but they got that right.
They got that right. 60s, 70s, 80s. All our black music was about love. It was about relationships, about black empowerment. And then when you come out into hip hop, we're talking about a black consciousness, black power, and then you get an infiltration of music and a commercialization of music, and then suddenly the most influential thing for black people is music. And so then suddenly
1000%.
Our messages are the degradation of our people and our neighborhoods, the degradation of our greatest asset, black women, the devaluation of black women, of black families, of black life, the commercialization and the exploitation of black culture, and it creates a hollowing. But at the same time, it draws you further into the successful construct of white supremacy, which once you get there, it makes it harder for you to make a change, to become aware, because you know you're used to.
It's all encompassing.
Yeah, I got the fame now. I got money. Why would I turn this away? Like, why? This is good. It's great. It's good to be king. It's good to be king.
People are like, Amanda, you need your own show. I want a show called The Big Seals. That's what, if I'm gonna do a show, it's just gonna be called The Big Seals, and I'm gonna be talking my shit, and I'm gonna have my characters, and then Brandon gonna come on.
I'm gonna have my characters.
You know, like, and it's really gonna be rooted in the awareness of my autochthonous being and understanding that, you know, one thing I love about Brandon and one thing that has kept us bonded, like Brandon and I have been bonded since 1998. Like January 5th, 1999. That's when we met. We met January 5th, 1999, and we have been tight ever since. And I think on a basic level, it's because we both come from the same mindset of like, whenever we create as artists, it comes from two basic bottom lines, and needs to serve our creative hearts as well as give the people social change. It needs to meet those two standards on a basic level. And I think for a lot of folks listening and watching, it's like, look at what you do in your life. And you do need to identify, like, what are your tent poles that you make moves on? Because I know a lot of us do shit just for bread.
Yeah.
And there is a luxury in not having to do shit just for bread. That is a full fact. Like, I am so... I have gratitude every morning. I wake up with gratitude every morning that I found myself I've created a life for myself where I don't have to do things just for money, where I can be like, y'all can keep that, fuck out of here. But I think a lot of that has also come from like my own confidence that like, I'll find the bread in a manner that serves me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think I agree. Again, it is a luxury, but it does also require a conscious structuring of things so that, okay, I'm gonna live like this so that I don't have to be chained to the bread. You know, that's why I don't got no kids. That's why I don't have, you know, but it's like you make your
because I haven't met a nigga that I can have kids with yet. But yeah, that's another
I'll admit it's probably more complicated. Probably a bit more complicated than that, I'll grant.
Maybe that's why I'm still single.
But it's
I do like to think, though, that my egg count is aging like I'm aging.
It's robust.
I do like to think that. Like, well, if I'm still giving a youthful vibe, maybe my ovaries is still also giving a youthful vibe.
I think I feel like that's a way to rock. You know, again, thoughts can have an effect on the body. The more you project that south, you know,
right, like to that region.
Then
I know people are like, why don't you just go find out about your eggs? Don't come for my neck right now. All right.
Because they shut down all medical services while we deal with COVID and let
I feel attacked. I feel attacked. You know, but listen, like, there really is no today answer for all the tomorrows.
There isn't. But as an aside, just to speak to this election, because
yes, please.
This is my philosophy. Obviously, Sleepy Joe Biden is a weak candidate, but for me, and we need to push him. But for me, if I'm just thinking practically, for the goals I have for my life and the values of the people and the communities I care about, voting for Biden and the Democrats in this election will put me into a greater playing field to achieve the things that I want for myself and my people.
Yes. Now, that's one sentence. What is the next sentence?
The next sentence is in approaching that goal, ensuring that I build up enough of an organized coalition to put pressure on this person so that once we have gotten over that hump, that person can be driven and influenced in the directions that we need to continue to create a landscape that can further our goals. But it doesn't mean that I love everything the Democrats do. I worship Joe Biden. I'm in agreement with every no. I'm going to put ourselves and our people in a greater position to live. And part of that is holding their feet to the fire.
Yes. I do think, though, that there is value in the conversation of pushing them at present to create a more robust presentation.
Yes.
That will garner more support in achieving the goal of getting this motherfucker out of office.
Absolutely. And to that point, because if that is my goal, I need you all to do this well enough to convince the other cats who aren't thinking like me.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Because I know what my crew's going to do. I need you all to rock hard enough that these cats will come through.
Because you know what I don't feel like a lot of people understand is that we're balanced. The biggest challenge and what we're talking to a lot of here in this conversation is challenging apathy. Right? Challenging apathy and nihilism. Like the apathy is the not caring, and the nihilism is like, is really honestly even deeper than that, and just feeling like my life doesn't matter and it's going to end anyway, so I might as well be in charge of ending it. Like it's deep in our streets.
These things don't matter, and these people aren't
so bad. Talk amongst yourselves. What are the Kardashians saying? Because I haven't heard much.